Good evening, everyone. I think check. Yeah. Just give a minute for everyone to get connected. It looks like everyone is there. Welcome to our workshop this evening. This is our Meet the Experts, Meet the Team. Tonight we're talking about maintaining connection in your relationship. That could look like a lot of different things, and we're going to hear some really interesting perspectives, I expect, from everyone. Just a quick ask at the beginning. If you are planning on staying for the breakout rooms, if you can just add that to the chat below, letting us know so we can plan the breakout rooms ahead of time. And when the presentation portion ends, we'll be able to pop into those really quickly. They're a lot of fun and kind of the highlight of the evening, in our opinion. So just let us know. You can just send it in the chat below so we know how many breakout rooms to create. Otherwise, we are ready to get started. And we're starting with Christy, a postpartum and birth doula on our team. Take it away.
Hello. Thank you for the introduction, Amanda. So yes, I'm Christy. I'm postpartum and birth doula. I've been a birth worker for a hot minute, and I'm happy to be here with Helping Hands. Landed my soft landing back in Canada after I was overseas for many years. So my little subtopic on maintaining your connection with your partner is during your pregnancy, I like to suggest to my clients to talk about and create some boundaries around what your postpartum is going to look like with your extended friends and family. So it's really important for you guys to be able to relate well, but with all of the extra stress. Oh, Marina is not hearing anything. You got that, Amanda? Everybody else can hear me okay? Okay, good. You're going to have a lot of extra stress and things on your plate, and certain issues that are going to come up that have never come up before if you haven't had children. So that may mean just setting some boundaries around, like, we're going to accept guests, visitors after the baby's born only after this many days, or only during these hours, or only from close friends and family, or maybe we want you all to be wearing masks if your baby's going to be born during flu season or RSV season, something like that. You don't necessarily have to say, don't have to make it a mean boundary. It doesn't have to be like, you guys never do this for me and I'm going to have to insist on it. It can be like, well, you can blame your doulas too. Our doula suggested that this would be a good way to handle this. And if you guys sort of present a united front, then it'll be easier for the extended friend and family to accept it. And then also, if you've discussed some of these issues ahead of time, you're not going to run into issues like, well, your mother-in-law thinks that the rules don't apply to her, and you always take her side. So if you can sort it out ahead of time, then we might not have to deal with those issues later on when they're coming up, just because people behave in certain patterned ways. So if you can anticipate it, then put some clear boundaries in place, and then you guys won't end up being pitted against one another in the sometimes emotionally fraught postpartum period. So that's about all I have to say about that. I'm going to pass it on to Amanda Kennedy. Take it away, Amanda.
Thank you, Christy. That is a fantastic idea. Communication is so important, and it comes up in a lot of different places. I'm going to take a different spin on maintaining connection, and I want to talk about maintaining your relationship with yourself. I think it sometimes gets lost, especially for birth parents who receive a lot of attention during pregnancy, birth, all of that. And then all of a sudden, there is a very special little person in your life who takes a lot of attention and much needed attention. However, you are still a person and still valuable and still need to be acknowledged and you're going through a major life transition, and taking the time to think about what would make you feel a little more normal, a little more like yourself, and setting those times and boundaries, and using people like your doula to communicate the feelings you're having and have them validated, and helping you brainstorm some ideas on ways to troubleshoot that and find time to actually take a break for yourself, and helping you communicate with partners or family members or friends of ways they can help you find connection with yourself again, is incredibly valuable and often lost because everyone's focused on the baby, who needs a lot of attention but also needs a healthy, thriving parent to depend on. And I see it too many times to ignore it. And I really think that it's important for you to maintain that connection with yourself, and your relationship with yourself is incredibly valuable. That is my 2 cents. I'm going to pass it on to Maria.
Good evening, everybody. So I know that it's important, and many of the doulas will be talking about maintaining connections with your partner, but I think it's also important to maintain connections in the community. And so my suggestion is that just to look for groups on Facebook or other social media platforms, but Facebook is a popular one, where there are groups for moms in your area, and that way you can kind of connect with people that are going through similar thing as you. It might be a good way to connect and ask questions as well, and get resources, and then also go to your local baby and parent programs, where you can also connect with people in person, and then your baby can also make friends and those things. So I think it's also important to get out into the community and be around people that are going through the same thing that you are, having a brand new baby, and learning a lot of things as maybe first-time parents or second-time parents, but either way, it's a big change for your life. And so I think making those connections in the community are beneficial, and both you and your partner can do them. I'll pass it on to Mandy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to be talking about having consistent and open communication with your partner. I know everyone's kind of touched a little bit on it, but I think I'm going to touch on it a little bit more. And the main thing is going to be just having the routine check-ins with your partner. So when it comes to postpartum, your postpartum period, nobody talks about it. No, everyone, talks about birth and preparing for it, but there's never enough preparation for the postpartum part. And one of the main things that does get impacted is your relationship with your partner, your connection, your ability to connect with your partner. So I'm going to be talking about that. So basically, this is a time of change and growth, and there's no constant here. You're going to find that everything is just about the baby. As Amanda said, everything is about the baby now, where you kind of lose connection with yourself and also with your partner. You're just so consumed with the baby, feeding the baby. The lack of sleep that develops in your, first during your postpartum days, the early days, especially, the lack of sleep, the trying to get trying to figure things out, and the overwhelm, it just starts to become a disconnection with yourself and your partner, in addition to the birthing partner's recovery and healing as well, which is also the main focus on top of the baby. So it is so essential to check in with your partner, have daily check-ins. If you can't do daily check-ins, I know it becomes very busy, but even if it's every other day or maybe even twice a week, just have the check-ins and just, ask each other, how are you doing? And make time to feel heard and understood, especially because it's going to become a very vulnerable time. And, I want you to prepare for this moment in that regard, because like I said, that it's going to be a big change. It's a huge transition, in your life. And, when you do your check-ins, talk about your highs and lows of the day. Talk about what you're worried about, things that you're concerned about, or even what you're excited about. Empathize with each other and understand each other. What are you feeling and experiencing? And again, as I said, be vulnerable, release the emotions, be transparent, be open and honest with each other. Allow yourselves, again, I can't stress the word enough, vulnerable. And also remember that you both are a team. So always remember that, when you're going through moments, even if it's one of you going through a moment, remember that you and your partner are a team. It's not you against the problem, it's you and your partner against the problem. And you both can handle anything together. Just a few more things. For the birthing partner may have also in the first few days, birthing partner may start to feel a little bit of resentment. And the reason why I say that is, for example, if the husband, the supporting partner, even in the first few days or the first month, he decides to go to the gym, and the birthing partner may feel, why can't I do that? Because for her, the focus is going to be recovery, the first few weeks, especially. So there may be a little bit of resentment, and just trying to understand, expressing your feelings and talking to each other about it, and coming to a middle ground, like, okay, sure, go to the gym, but come back and, when you come back, you can take the baby for a couple of hours while I shower or, rest or whatever. So just to, quickly, say a few more other points. So again, this is going to be a huge mental load during this transition into parenthood. You will go through, also keep in mind that you will go through a grieving period as well. And the reason why I say that is that you're going to miss how your relationship was, how it was at the beginning, prior to having the baby. You're going to feel that disconnection. And again, being open and honest and connecting with your partner during this time is so, so vital. And remembering and keep reminding yourself that you're a team together, you're in this together, and you're both, raising your little one, and you're in it together. And one last final note, if you are having trouble communicating at all, verbally at any point whatsoever, write it down. Get a book or journal and just write it down, or even make like a shareable journal where you both can share your thoughts. If you can't express it verbally, then definitely something that where you can write it down, because sometimes writing down your feelings does release and does make you feel much, much better. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandeep. This is really a good warm-up from what I'm going to talk about. My name is Petra. I am a sleep consultant with Helping Hands, and I know the importance of relationships, especially when we are introducing a newborn. So when you are becoming a parent, especially a first-time parent, you can feel very strongly about who you are at that point, and who you were as a couple, and who you are going to be. What is your journey forward? So each parent will start to realize the bigger responsibilities that come with being a parent means. And for the birth parent, it's like keeping the baby safe and healthy, feeding the baby, making sure that this baby is developing, because we all know via social media what needs to happen at day 5 and what needs to happen at week 2. So we focus on that, and that is big responsibility for a new parent. How to dress your baby, making sure that your baby gets enough sleep, because that's important too. For the supporting parents, there are other pressures, like how am I going to do this? You might be the sole financial provider for the family now, and that is a big responsibility. You might be starting to think like, we need a bigger house, we need a different car, we might need so many diapers. Where are they on sale? I know that my husband was like on a hunt for diapers. As soon as there were diapers on sale, he was out, and I'm like, we don't need more diapers. We have enough diapers. But we start to feel that responsibility, each in a different way. And those responsibilities can be feeling very heavy at times, sometimes. And then throwing some sleep deprivation, and every new parent is going to experience to some degree sleep deprivation. I don't want to scare you off. Oh, do I need to stop? Is that the Oscar music? I'm going off the podium now. Sorry about that. So you're all going to be tired. You're going to be overwhelmed at point. You might be feeling a little bit lost, like the other doulas already talked to you about. So when it is at that point, you need to keep something in mind. When you are communicating with each other, try to keep it simple. And with that, keep in mind the acronym KISS, keeping it simple, sweetheart. So if you want something, if you need something, make sure that your tone of voice towards your partner sounds nice. Even when it's in the middle of the night and you're like, just give me a glass of water. I am so thirsty. Just try to keep it simple. Short answers, short questions. Don't ask for explanations. Don't explain why you need water now. Like, one of the things for the supporting parents can be like, let me take the baby from you so you can take a shower. You might feel that your partner really needs a shower, but you don't really need to say that. You just give her the hint. You just plant a seed like, hey, I'll take the baby. You take a shower. The other way around, as the feeding parent, you might need to use the bathroom before you feed, because you might be sitting there for an hour. So maybe say, hey, can you change baby's diaper so that I can take a shower before I feed the baby? We don't need to explain the whole process that comes with it. So just keeping it very simple, sweetheart. Keep that in mind. And then you might be able to communicate in a friendlier way than when we are sleep deprived and really in need of peace and quiet. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope to speak with you all soon. Here is Jessica.
Hey everyone. Petra, that's awesome. Thank you for the KISS acronym. It's perfectly suited to what I'm about to talk about as well. So my little segment is about keeping connection with your partner through physical touch. And this is where the simple part comes in. Like, it's not about doing anything, you know, fancy schmancy massages for each other, anything like that. I think when, you know, as everyone's gone over, like, you become parents, there's a lot of changes, and you have a bond before you have your baby, and you still have a bond after you have your baby, but it's different and it's continuously changing, and that can be a little bit destabilizing, and we can feel as new parents a little bit alienated from one another because our roles have changed so quickly and drastically. And, you know, touch can be a calming thing, and it can be a thing that brings us together. And again, going back to the simplicity of things, it can be, hopefully, an uncomplicated energy exchange. And I'm specifically referring to things like, you know, if the birth partner is, after a long day of feeding baby, has sore shoulders, you know, a quick little shoulder or neck massage can be really nice for that person, or a foot massage, whatever you know that they like. Also, just, you know, stroking someone's hair, or if you're in the car together for whatever reason, going to a doctor's appointment, putting your hand on your partner's hand while they're driving, or on their leg, just a little, like those little tiny moments, it can be easy to kind of be separate, like you're taking care of the baby, I've got all these other responsibilities. And coming back together in those little tiny little moments of intimacy throughout the day, in a time where, like sexual stuff is like not really at the forefront at all. Your body's healing, someone's body is healing in the relationship. And so that all that stuff has to be on the back burner until everyone's on board again. And so in the meantime, don't totally let it go, like give each other a nice big hug at the end of the day. Maybe take some deep breaths together to co-regulate when someone is feeling stressed and overtired and overwhelmed. Like that can be really helpful. When you go to bed and you're super exhausted, spoon and cuddle for even just 2 minutes before you guys both totally pass out. And I think like, maybe the pressure can be on the support partner to be like providing this care to the birth partner, which I totally am for. But I also want to flip the table and say support partner like feels like very isolated and alone too, because birthing partner is giving like so much energy and so much time to keeping the baby alive essentially. And so it can be easy for the support partner to feel kind of useless, a little bit cast to the side. And so to you, the birth partner, be reaching out to them to put your arm around their shoulder when you can, and remember how they like to be touched in a gentle and intimate way throughout the day. Those things really help, I think, in making sure that you remember the love for each other and the kindness, and when you're too tired to talk. I think that pretty much covers it for me. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll introduce Sharon.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. So I'm going to talk about keeping your connection through date nights. And hopefully you're going to start this before the baby's born. I don't know if our people attending tonight have already had their baby, but keeping the connection right from the get-go is so important. And having a date night, putting a date on the calendar every week or every 2 weeks, whatever you guys can work out, and really taking some time to just focus on each other and not on the baby. And one of my big things is making sure it has to be positive. It can't be, a crab fest about you did this and I did that. And that's not what date night is. That's another conversation for another time. Date night has to be positive things. And I think it's really good early on, if you can, start making points about your partner that you really like about them, that you find really, great about them. Just keep a little secret note somewhere. And then, every time that you have your little date night, bring that little point up. I'm just so proud of you, the way you dress so nice all the time. Or, I'm so happy when I walk down the street with you, because you just give off this great feeling of, great energy. Find something positive and make that your date night conversation. Always build each other up. And this is a great time to do it. You can start before the baby comes, but it's even more important once the baby gets here. You really need to take the time to really praise each other, find the good parts of your day, of what your partner's done. In the very early times, date night could be a half an hour. Maybe that's the only time you get is half an hour. And you take that half an hour time knowing the baby's fine and do something special between the two of you, like nice music that you like, light a candle, hold hands. At the beginning, you're not going to be able to go too far. But do things like that to just connect. Eventually, take advantage of your postpartum doula or friends or family who are willing to watch the baby for an hour, and go out for a walk, go to coffee, sit in the park, go to the mall, whatever makes you guys feel good, where you're just together. And like the other ladies have said about touching and holding hands, but it really needs to be the most positive thing about your partner. You could be mad as heck about something they did. You got to let that go. That's not what the date night's about. Date night is about what they did great. Oh my God, that's so good. You filled up the tank with gas. I knew the car was empty. And like, you're so awesome that you did that for me. Like, you have to find something that is, positive about your partner and empowering them. Like I say, date night doesn't have to be, a fancy dinner or going to a movie. It can be whatever you guys want to make it. But I think it's a really good habit to get into even before baby comes, to say, Thursday night, we're going to have half an hour of just holding hands, looking into each other's eyes, and just saying what we like about the other person, and not discussing the baby, and not discussing the housework, and not discussing anything other than how wonderful your partner is, because obviously you wouldn't be with them if you didn't have that feeling that they are super wonderful. Just crazy little things, eventually having a bath together, just a love notes. I think love notes are so awesome. Just little crazy little notes that you can leave for your partner, or, text them, just a cute little love note about something you like about them and you're thinking about them. And that's the most important thing, because you are going to be going through so much stress. And like the other ladies have mentioned already, a lot of sleep deprivation. You're going to be so tired. And sometimes it's hard to find something positive to speak to your partner about. And it goes both ways, both the birth parent and the supporting parent. I'm sure you're proud of stuff that they do, and you've got to point that out. You can't let it slide as, oh yeah, they just did that. Oh well, you have to really point it out, because it's the little things like that that keep you connected and are going to keep you connected through the tough times and, all the times ahead, because little ones are really demanding and they really do like to take your time, all of your time. And so just chiseling out, making it a good habit right now. Start your date night, pick a night and stick with it. And like I say, even if it's only a half an hour, it's got to be quality time for the two of you. So that's my suggestion. If you can order in some food or have a favorite movie, anything that is positive that you guys really like to do together. And that's my suggestion. Make a date night. And I guess we're going to see you in the breakout rooms. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sharon. I feel right now like I need to go sit down and watch this whole video again, because this was wonderful. I loved everything and how connected everyone was. And I hope now you all feel like you're going to be more connected as well. So our next step is our breakout rooms. So what will happen is that you'll be able to chat with as many of us as possible. You'll have your own breakout room. Doulas will go through. You'll get a warning about 1 minute before the end of it that we're going to be moving them around. And then just please be patient as we switch doulas between rooms. And then it would be great if you didn't mind having your cameras on. We don't care if you're in your PJs relaxing. We love that. But it is nice for the conversation to be on screen and chatting. And I think we're ready.